The reason No Labels fielded this poll, which we did in 15 swing districts across the country in the last 2 weeks, is we wanted to get a sense what the appetite would be for a bipartisan infrastructure deal, which is pretty timely given the fact that just this week, the Problem Solvers Caucus, in the wake of the Capito infrastructure negotiations falling apart, came out with their own infrastructure plan that's bipartisan, and it looks like they're working with some senators, including Bill Cassidy, to put a little more meat on the bones there. And interestingly enough, the plan that came out from the Problem Solvers is very much in the sweet spot of where these swing district voters want to be, because the big takeaway that we found across all 15 districts, which included 10 Democratic incumbent districts, 5 Republican-held districts, is that voters do want an infrastructure bill, but they want it to be bipartisan. That is important to them. And the second thing is the sweet spot is something that comes in the not much bigger than $1 to $1.5 trillion, which is where, based on what we read earlier, the Problem Solvers plan comes out about. So, I mean, it's interesting. There's another poll you might have seen that I think Morning Consult did, where the public kind of rejected that construct of bipartisanship, meaning this sort of looser definition of bipartisan means people in the country kind of support it, and maybe some governors too. For them, bipartisanship still really means meaningful cooperation between elected officials in Washington, Democrats and Republicans. And so, we definitely saw a majority of voters across all the districts want a bipartisan infrastructure bill. And I don't think it's that they're so interested in bipartisanship for the sake of it. It seems to be the means through which they think they're going to get a sensible bill. Because the other thing we saw is there is this desire for a bipartisan infrastructure bill that comes in at $1 to $1.5 trillion, but there's not a lot of appetite for major new user fees to pay for that, or for major tax increases. So there was some openness to corporate taxes going up. That was supported by a majority in most districts. But there is definitely did not seem to be an appetite for one of two things, which is to the extent that the progressive wing is pushing a $4 trillion package, and of course the White House is doing this, of social and physical infrastructure spending funded by pretty significant tax increases. We did not see much support across any of the 15 districts for that approach. On the other hand, it doesn't look like a lot of these voters would be rewarding rank obstructionism either. So there is a desire to see people on both sides get to the table and get something done.